This is Constance Oliver, and I want to talk to you about open educational resources, specifically with online course design. This presentation is created under the Fair Use Guidelines and may not be used for any other purposes other than for which it was originally created. When we talk about open educational resources, we need to start by discussing copyright and fair use. If you are using any materials that belongs to someone else and you don't have their permission and you're not following fair use, then you are breaking the law. In order to understand this and to not break the law, let's make sure we understand fair use and when are we following it. There's not one specific criteria that is fair use. Instead, there's at least 4 different things that you need to consider to decide if you are using something following fair use. One question, is it for profit or commercial use? Or is it for nonprofit, non-commercial, or educational use? Is the work copyrighted or is it something that is in public domain and available for public use? How much of the work are you going to use? A small percent or all of it? What effect will your use have on the market? Are you preventing someone from buying a book because you have copied it for them? A lot of questions to consider. We also need to define intellectual property. You can realize that the work you create, the work that you write, or the ideas that you create can be property that can belong to you, but can is the important word. It may also belong to an institution that you work for. If you are hired to create course content, that work often belongs to the institution and not you. However, there are several steps that you can take to protect and copyright your work if you want to. Finally, let's define open education resources. These educational resources was something that was first brought about by UNESCO, and their purpose was to create free educational material to provide to developing countries. Students who could not afford a traditional textbook could find the same information or similar information available for free. Not only are these sources supposed to be free to use, but they are also encouraged to be shared. They're for everyone. This may be something as simple as just a photo, or it may be an entire course that you can access for free. Let's look at some examples of different uses. I use the Purdue OWL website all the time in my courses. I share their information. I tell students to use it as a reference, as a resource, as a guide. Their website specifically states that students, members of the community, and users worldwide can find information to assist with many projects, and they provide these as a free service. Teachers and trainers may use this material for in-class or out-of-class instruction. Another website I use frequently in my courses is the Indiana University Library, specifically a tutorial on plagiarism. Their website tells us that any individual or organization outside of Indiana University is welcome to use this tutorial for any nonprofit educational purpose. They can print it, distribute it, share it, whatever they would like. You do not need to ask their permission, but they say that you may want to inform them of your permission, especially if your entire institution is using it. I want to share some additional possible educational resources for you. One of them is the Smithsonian Learning Lab. This is an excellent resource for any sort of video, article, guide from a multitude of topics, all free, all available for you to use. One of my favorites is Project Gutenberg. This offers free ebooks. A lot of them are older books or classical books because they are now having an expired copyright, but Project Gutenberg has digitized them and shared them. So this is great to use for course readings. Finally, the Open Learn from Open University, which has entire courses that you can take. There's a really interesting one about accessibility and e-learning that I'm going to check out. Here's one I'm going to share with my students, an English Skills for Learning. The entire course is open for anyone who wants to take it. This is just the beginning of talking about these resources. There's lots more to learn, and it's a discussion I'm looking forward to having.